MVP, I feel like it's a very easy pick for MVP, and I think is it time to start having a wider discussion about A'ja Wilson?
That's your MVP? I thought you was going to say Caitlyn.
No, I'm not going to say that. Don't do that.
Kidding.
Don't do me like that.
Sorry, kidding. That was a pump fake joke.
That was come on now. That was a bad pump fake. I ain't that much in the tank.
I'm kidding.
No, two Americas. Two America says that Caitlin Clark is the MVP. Not this America.
Yeah. Somebody, as soon as I said that, fist pumped, and now they're upset with me, and they probably clicked off. Sorry. But your question was?
My question was, is it time to start having a greater discussion about A'ja Wilson? Because I feel like she's clearly the best player in the game, the most impactful player in the game, and just putting her in a historical context is probably what's next.
100%. Yeah, I mean, when you have the most points in a franchise, which she does at the Aces, when you have already won 2 championships, have the chance to three-peat, which has not been done, I think there are a lot of these conversations that A'ja is now in to become the GOAT. You know, is she the greatest of all time, blah, 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 et cetera. We're also reaching a point in the W2 where people don't always know the history, you know, so they don't know like the Cynthia Cooper Dykes that came before, right? Or the Cheryl Swoops that came before, and like could actually see them. And so I say to say it's definitely working in A'ja's favor, because if you don't know the history, you only know what you know right now. And that's the best, you know? And so I think for a huge generation of girls and women's basketball, A'ja will be the GOAT. Like A'ja will be Kobe, and it will last a very long time. I think just her dominance and how she plays the game, different sides of the basketball, on both sides of the basketball at a high level. But I feel like with the accolades she's already gotten, I mean, it seems like every other night she's breaking a record. And like records, people, like she has the most 25 plus point games, 10 plus rebounds games in a season at 11. We are not at the second half of the season. Like she could get 11 more and like squish the record. It's also a year in which the W is playing the most games it's ever played, right? So it's playing 40 games this year. Last year it had played 36. So some of these records she'll start to break just because they have more games. It's just a bigger sample size. But at the same time, I don't think it takes anything away from her. So yeah, I feel like I start thinking about A'ja Wilson and what she could be in this league. I start thinking about like a Maya Moore, you know, where it's just like, it didn't matter how long Maya played, when her career was cut short, she will always go down as one of the best. And I don't care who you put her up against. It's just going to be that. I feel like A'ja is getting to that point where it's like, yeah, how can we not call her one of the best ever?
That's a great point. Look, I came up in the era where, I heard about Cheryl Miller and I heard about the respect that people have for Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Miller's almost like Babe Ruth in a way that you just, you know, the record book is owned by Cheryl Miller. And then you see Cheryl swag and you're like, yeah, I can see Cheryl being the best because Cheryl's out there talking and kicking it and destroying Reggie, which I found could be completely hilarious. And then I got to see Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper on the same team. Like Cheryl Swoops was coming off having a baby. You know what I mean? Like, and then the next year she was out here like, oh yeah, I'm like the dog on this team. And then Cynthia Cooper was like, no, I'm the dog. And then Tina Thompson was like, hey y'all, throw this rock down here.
number one pick right here ever. Yeah, to me.
Throw this rock down here so I can give Lisa Leslie some work. I can give Rebecca Lobo some work. Like that's just, I think it's just in a great place. And I think A'ja Wilson, like you said, with the numbers she's putting up with, and I think America is starting to catch hold of her a little bit more. I think this is one of those things where, you know, the Caitlin Clark effect, theoretically, where people are starting to see like, oh, there are great players in this league. And once you get past the venom and you're actually watching the games, you're like, oh, she's a beast. Okay, cool. A'ja Wilson is there, that sort of thing. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to how this all plays out, especially after the Olympic team, because in case y'all didn't know, the most dominant Olympic team in terms of the United States doing anything is the U.S. women's Olympic basketball team. 100%. Ain't nobody coming close. They had a couple close games, I think, in 21, but for the most part, they have been dominant. So I'm looking forward to that.